afternoon. My name's Ellen Forsyth. I work at the State Library of New South Wales. I acknowledge that I am hosting and recording this meeting from the lands of the Gadigal and Wangal people of the Eora Nation. I also acknowledge the traditional custodians of the various lands on which you all work today and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people participating in the meeting. I pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging, and celebrate the diversity of Aboriginal people and their ongoing cultures and connections to the lands and waters of New South Wales. Thank you for joining today to find out more about this training. Reference Excellence is a self-paced reference and information training wiki. It can be used as a refresher training or for those new to the profession. You'll be finding out more about it from Judy, Ita, and Michelle. And during 2022 and 2023, we'll be providing online discussion sessions about each of these modules. I'll hand over to Ita, Judy, and Michelle for them to tell you more about this online training. After they've provided this information, my colleague Philippa and I will answer questions about the upcoming online sessions. We will not record the questions and answers, but we will be recording the presentation by Ita, Judy, and Michelle. And I will hand over to them now. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Ellen. I just lost my whole Zoom, but I'm back, so it's all good. I'd like to welcome you all to our presentation. So it's an introduction to the Reference Excellence Training. So my name is Ita. I'm from Tamworth Library, and I'm presenting this together with Michelle from Albury and Judy from Coffs Harbour. So during COVID, we worked together on updating the Reference Excellence modules together with Ellen. And we're just going to give you an introduction about this. I will talk a little bit about what it is. Then we have Michelle, who will do a demonstration for you to see how it all works. And Judy will tell us where to from here. Okay, so Ellen has already done an acknowledgement of country, but I'd like to tell you that I come from Kamilaroi country. And because we are all from different parts of Australia, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. And I pay respect to the elders past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders peoples here today with us. So what is Reference Excellence? Now, to best explain it to you, I'm going to quote the Reference Excellence modules, and this is what it says. Reference Excellence is a self-paced reference and information services training or a refresher training. It is designed to help public library staff provide excellent reference and information service training without the individual libraries having to develop their own training. Public library staff from across New South Wales have contributed to the development and maintenance of this training. So it's been an ongoing process. Public library staff for years have helped with this. And the last cohort is the three of us that are presenting today. So that's what it is. Now, what's the purpose? As it already said in what it is a staff training. So it is to develop the staff skills. And because the whole of New South Wales can do the same training, it's a focus on professionalism. So everybody gets the same information, and every library can support the provision of accurate information. So we want to enhance customer service because everybody can do the same thing. And it encourages enthusiasm, because if you know what you're doing, it's easier to be enthusiastic about it. At least that's what I have. So we revitalized it. So we just go to the next screen, please, Michelle. So we did the update during COVID. So why? For me, in the first place, I put my hand up because I had time then with the closures. And it was just really interesting to be involved. But what we really wanted to do is make sure it was relevant to current library practices. And we all know they keep changing, especially during COVID. So we wanted to renew the information. We wanted to update the examples, and we wanted to ensure that we have accurate links in there. And this is an ongoing project, because once we finished, we get together every half year to check the links if they're still good. And if you're working through the modules yourself, please let us know, because things change so quick, and then it can stay updated and exactly what we need it to be. So who is it for? All of you that are on the call today. Of course, it's for you, but mainly it was set up for New South Wales Public Library staff. And doesn't matter if you're old or new. If you're new to reference and information services, it's excellent training for everything. And if you're long-term staff, it's super good for a refresher or renewal, and just stay up to date with what's happening now. Other than library staff, it's also really handy for library and information students, whether you're TAFE or uni. And anyone that's interested really can use the site. How can it be used? As Ellen said in the intro, there's now a new way to use it, because you can do one module a month and then get together with everybody through the State Library and talk about it. And I think that is an awesome way to do it, because I always learn more when I talk to other people. So that's awesome. But before that, and you can still do it that way as well, you can do it just as a team training in the workplace. You can do it with your whole team. You can have it as a buddy system. You can do mentoring. Any individual can work through it in the workplace, or you can just do it online. And it can also be incorporated in student training. So, for example, I'll just tell you how I did the training. To start with, the first time I saw it was when I was a TAFE student way back in Library and Information Services, and that was my first taste of reference and information services. So it was all new to me, and I was a little bit overwhelmed, but it was a good introduction. Then I did it again as a uni student, as a PD, for my PD subject, because you get hours and you have to do so many. And then I knew actually what it was about, but it helps to talk about it. And I also did it when I was working at Wyong Libraries, which is now Central Coast Libraries. It was part of their yearly training program. And no matter how I did it, every time I got something out of it, but the most I learned always was when I could discuss it with my colleagues. So now you get the chance to discuss it with library staff from all over New South Wales. So it's awesome. So I'll just tell you how it is organized. I was just going on a little random rant there. So how is it organized? We have 13 modules, so it will be 13 months that the program runs. And every module you can do separately, or you can do all of them, in the one go. So it's a comprehensive training program, 13 modules, and then every module has information, there's exercises, there's answers and discussion, top tips, there's a review, and there's an evaluation at the end. So we would really like, if you're doing the training, if you could fill out the evaluation form at the end, because that way we know what's working, what's not working, what we have to change, keep it up to date, that sort of stuff. So that's how you do it. Now, where can you actually find this training? You can find it on the New South Wales State Library website on the wiki, and I will hand it over to Michelle, because she's going to show you how to do it in the real life environment. So take it away, Michelle.
Thank you, Ida. Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm from Albury Libraries, and I'm presenting today from the land of the Wiradjuri community. And so I'm just going to show you where you can find it. Welcome to the wonderful State Library of New South Wales screen. And to find the wikis, the easiest way, if you haven't got it already bookmarked, is to go to the State Library of New South Wales website, scroll down. You can always get sidetracked and look at wonderful featured events. And then down the bottom here, you can see the public libraries right near the end. And if you click on this, the green square, it'll take you to public library services. From there, just go down a bit further, and the easiest way, and I will say it's the easiest way, is just go right down to the end, the bottom of the page, and click on wikis here. Right next to it is email list. So if you're not a member of one of the State Library or the New South Wales Public Library's email lists, or you want to find some more email lists, please feel free to go there, but we go here on the wikis. Okay, so there's, again, a wealth of information here. And in the first group, we're here for Reference Excellence Training Program. If we go in here, we're in. So as Ita mentioned, sorry, the setup is it's broken into 13 modules. There is a really great section at the beginning about reference excellence and a bit more information about the training and how to book in for the training if you're going to continue on and do some of the modules. We've set them up as individual modules. You don't have to do all 13 modules. You can just go in and out and do the modules that are of interest. And we're just going to look at module 1 today. So each of the modules is set out to be done in bite-sized pieces. So if you've got half an hour, you can hop in, do quite a bit, and then go out and come back again at a later date. There's a table of contents here on the right-hand side of the screen, and that will take you to the different sections where you're up to. At the end of each or throughout each module, you'll be asked some questions while you're doing some exercises while you're doing the module. Make a note of your answers, and as recommended, you can talk to them to other people, other peers within the group you join, or you can talk to your supervisors or peers at your work. And if you click on the module answers and review, you'll get the answers, the questions again with the answers. And you can always go back to the module from the top of the screen. So at the bottom of each module, you'll find that there are, let's go to the bottom. You can link to all the other modules, and you can also go to the answers and review. At the end of all of this, as Ita mentioned, we have an evaluation form, and that's in the answers and reviews section of every module. And we'd really appreciate if you can click through to that and fill in details. Very simple, just mark what module you've just done, how you did it, and just answer the questions. Would be appreciated. Okay, so that's the basics of the modules. If we go right to the bottom of the questions, again, you can jump to the next module, or you can go to a different module of interest. I'm now going to hand over to Judy, who's going to talk to you a bit more about what's next from here.
Thanks very much, Michelle. And my name's Judy Atkinson, and I'm talking to you today from the Narragalands down in Cooma, where I am at the moment. So where to from here? So this is the phase that we're jumping into now for all public library participants to help continue to grow and maintain the relevance of the Reference Excellence program. Whilst you're learning through the training you'll be doing over the next 13 months, you'll develop your own skills and your own reference abilities, but your input is welcomed in keeping it valid for everybody else as well. You can contribute by submitting photos to be included in the program. So you might have photos of your reference service points, or you might have images of your collection, your reference collection, or your information collection, and how you make it available to the public. Or you might have really good signage and really good displays that help support that development of knowledge transfer in the staff that you're working with. So if you've got photos that you want to share and then you think will enhance the information we've got in the Reference Excellence program, then by all means you can send that through so we can add it in and build onto the program that we've got happening at the moment. You can also contribute by sending through templates. If you've got a template you use for collecting data for your reference inquiries, or you might have a document that you use as a template for communicating information back to the customer, or you might have a template where you of common searches, like a search strategy that you use for a question that comes through regularly. It might be a curriculum-based question or a local studies-based question that people ask a lot. Any templates and pro formas you might have can be built into the relevant section of reference excellence, and that all helps other people develop their own skills, and they can use that to make their own template, or it's an idea they can run with by just using the one you've got there. So it's a really good way to keep everything current. The other thing that you can do to help develop reference excellence is to use it and to encourage others around you to use it. You can build it into your training programs at work. If you're a staff member, approach your team leader about having it included in your performance review. So it's an element of training that you can have recognised. You can make a commitment to completing it. And as Michelle and Ita have both mentioned, it's in chunks. You can break it down into modules. You can do one bit at a time, and you get a sense of achievement from finishing that module. Send through the evaluation form so we know how you've gone. And if you find any broken links, let us know, because like when Alia changed their whole website recently, we had to sit down and go through everything and sort it all out from our end. But we're happy to do that and happy to participate with each other and make it a reference excellence program that's worthwhile and that you can develop your skills from. If you're a team leader, then encourage your staff to participate, and also make the link readily available. You might have some reference and learning tools that your staff have access to on the intranet. Put the reference excellence link in there where they can get to it easily. Include it in your staff e-news to remind people to have a look at it, and then encourage people to join the monthly training sessions that State Library have set up to continue from now on. Because as mentioned by Ita particularly, if you're talking through what you're learning, you're showing your understanding and you're developing your way of being an automatic reference excellence participant. The more you practice, the more it becomes something you do as part and parcel of your job, and you're not having to sit and think, oh, I've got to now be excellent at reference. It's built in. So get it worked into your daily activities so you can keep it happening. And complete the evaluation form. Pull the evaluation form through so we know how you're going, we can keep on track, and we can use that to build the encouragement. And that can also help public library staff know how much encouragement they need to send out through the troops to keep you on track and keep you using the program. We can see if people falter at a particular module, and we may need to rejigger the wording or the information that's included in that so that people don't stumble at a hurdle. So keep it going. If you want to send something through, some images or templates, you can contact Ita, Michelle or Ellen, and their email addresses are there displayed for you, and it's quite in the system that we know. So the other way is to access the information through the Public Library Services channel on the State Library webpage, which Michelle showed you earlier. So clicking on the little green button at the bottom part of the State Library page takes us to the wiki and takes us to the e-lists that you can join. So join the e-lists. The Reference Excellence e-list is there as well, and that will keep you going through. And I know Ellen was sort of talking to us about the benefits of participating in the program. And if you can participate in this simple program that's created specifically for you and created for TAFE and uni students as well, so they can develop their skills. So when they get to the public library, they know about it, just like it has happened before. So you can go to the bottom of the page, click on the email lists there, and then you've got access to the different lists there. But you know, keep it happening so you develop your skills. And it's a useful way to demonstrate to your team leader or your supervisor that you're passionate about library and information services and the information channels that we can provide for people. So thank you, and thank you to State Library for providing the reference excellence training. so that we can all come together to share that knowledge and use the information that's available to us. So I think we're back to Ellen now.
I'm just going to jump in for 1 sec, if that's okay, Ellen. I've shared why I used it or how I used it and what I got out of it, but I think Michelle and Judy haven't actually shared that yet. So I'm just going to throw them under the bus and see if they want to.
Well, my microphone's still on, so I will say I participate with TAFE New South Wales as a teacher in the Library and Information Services courses, and we have built the Reference Excellence training into the unit learning materials for the TAFE courses. And so the students have access to all this information that's been put together, and they can use that to develop their skills. And it's a good way to get people used to what they will be dealing with when they're working, if they're working in a public library. So it's a good tool to know about, and it's a useful tool to show your participation and develop your knowledge and your currency. And the other thing is to join the ALIA professional development scheme and use this to count towards your recognition for all the professional development that you do, and build your recognition and build your skills. So yeah, use what's there. It's available for everybody.
Thanks, Judy, and thanks for that bus. I really appreciate it. So what I've used it before is to highlight to new staff members or staff members who are returning to working in libraries after a few years off for whatever reason, just to refresh themselves and upskill themselves. I've found it really good just being involved in the working party. A lot of my skills were refreshed just doing the review of this whole program and learning what other libraries do, particularly in reference excellences areas, has been really interesting. So yes, thank you, Ita. I really appreciated that bus. Back to you, Ellen.
But it was really interesting to hear your part.
Well, look, I'd like to
I
thank
choose now.
I'd like to thank Ita, Judy and Michelle for that great presentation, and I have to admit it's really inspired me. I'm just going to pause the recording now so that people can feel that they can discuss freely. So just pausing the recording.